The Gospel of Mark. The source of true defilement. Mark 7:14-23. Introduction. 1. When confronted by the Pharisees and scribes regarding eating with unclean hands. A. Jesus described the danger of traditions. Mark 7:1-13. B. How they can make our worship vain and the commands of God void. I. Bid. 2. Jesus then used the occasion to teach concerning true defilement. A. First to the multitude. Mark 7:14-16. B. Then privately to his disciples. Mark 7:17-23. He called all the multitude to himself, and said to them, Hear me, all of you, and understand. There is nothing from outside of the man, that going into him can defile him. But the things which proceed out of the man are those that defile the man. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. When he had entered into a house away from the multitude, his disciples asked him about the parable. He said to them, Are you thus without understanding also? Don't you perceive that whatever goes into the man from outside can't defile him, because it doesn't go into his heart, but into his stomach, then into the latrine, thus making all foods clean? Mark 7:14-19. He said, That which proceeds out of the man, that defiles the man. For from within, out of the hearts of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, sexual sins, murders, thefts, covetings, wickedness, deceit, lustful desires, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, and foolishness. All these evil things come from within, and defile a man. Mark 7:20-23. 1. Not the food. A. Dietary restrictions in the past. 1. From the creation, man and animals may have been vegetarian. Genesis 1:29-30. 2. After the flood, God gave animals as food, but not their blood. Genesis 9:3-4. 3. With the law of Moses, Israelites were restricted in their diet. Leviticus 11:1-47. In Old Testament times, God did have some stringent dietary guidelines. B. Dietary freedoms in the present. 1. Jesus has declared all foods clean. Mark 7:14-19. A. To the multitude, Jesus hints at the source of true defilement. Mark 7:14-16. B. To his disciples, he explains his parable. Mark 7:17-19. C. Purifying all foods is likely a parenthetical statement. Mark 7:19. D. For while the law of Moses was in force, Jesus observed it in full. Matthew 5:17-18. E. Thus Mark's parenthetical statement was intended for disciples living after the cross. 2. Paul later taught that all food is acceptable. A. Teaching to abstain from foods would be a sign of apostasy. 1 Timothy 4:1-3. B. Nothing is to be refused when received with thanksgiving and prayer. 1 Timothy 4:4-5. 3. There are a few exceptions. A. Things offered to idols, blood, and things strangled. Acts 15:28-29 and 21:25. B. Especially when connected to idolatry. 1 Corinthians 10:19-23. Revelation 2:14 and 20. C. When certain foods becomes a stumbling block to the weak. Romans 14:14-21. 1 Corinthians 8:13. From the New Testament, we learn of the dietary freedom we have in Christ. 2. But the heart. A. Man has a heart problem. 1. The heart-mind is a fountain out of which much that impacts life flows. Proverbs 4:23. 2. Affected by sin, it becomes deceitful and wicked. Ecclesiastes 9:3. Jeremiah 17:9. 3. Thus the heart is a source of much evil that defiles man. Mark 7:20-23. The heart or mind of man is the real source of defilement. B. Evil thoughts led to true defilement. 1. Evil thoughts. A. The general term translated evil thoughts precedes the verb in the Greek text and is viewed as the root of various evils which follow. Bible Knowledge Commentary. B. Evil thoughts generated in a heart unite with one's will to produce evil words and actions. I. Bid. 2. Adulteries. A. Illicit sexual relations by a married person. B. Which Jesus said could occur in the heart. Matthew 5:27-28. 3. Fornications. A. Illicit sexual activities of various kinds, prompted by lust. 1 Thessalonians 4:3-5. B. Including premarital sex, homosexuality, etc. 4. Murders. A. Taking life intentionally. B. Which is connected to hate in the heart. 1 John 3:15. 5. Thefts. A. Stealing. B. Including shoplifting, pilfering, etc. 6. Covetousness. A. Greediness. B. Which makes one an idolater. Ephesians 5:5. Colossians 3:5. 7. Wickedness. A. Evil acts. B. Done with malice. 8. Deceit. Acting with guile and intent to defraud. 9. Lewdness. A. Unrestrained and unconcealed immoral behavior. B. Closely related to lust. Romans 13:13. 10. An evil eye. A Hebrew idiom for stinginess. Proverbs 28:22. 11. Blasphemy. Slander, verbal abuse against God or man. 12. Pride. Arrogance, boastful opinion of oneself, often with disdain toward others. 13. Foolishness. Lack of common sense, with moral and spiritual insensitivity. Such sins prompted by evil thoughts are what truly defile us. Conclusion. 1. Today, many people choose to restrict their diet. A. Some for health reasons allowed by the liberty we have in Christ. B. Others for religious reasons not bound by the liberty we have in Christ. 2. From Christ and his apostles, we learn that all foods have been declared clean. A. When received with thanksgiving. B. When sanctified by prayer. Thus we learn where our true focus should be, removing that defilement which springs from sinful hearts. Ephesians 4:17-24. 1 Peter 4:1-3. It begins with obedience to the gospel of Christ. Acts 2:38 and 22:16. The end. The Gospel of Mark. The source of true defilement. Mark 7:14-23.